Once upon a time, in a quiet village nestled between the forest and the sea, there lived a curious and kind-hearted girl named Lila. She had big brown eyes, curly hair that danced in the wind, and a backpack full of crayons, seashells, and dreams. Lila loved exploring. She explored the beach with her dog Pebble. She explored the woods with her best friend Zoe. But there was one place she had never explored: the Moonlight Garden. No one really knew if the Moonlight Garden was real. Some said it only appeared when the moon was full and the sky was clear. Others said it grew in a secret part of the woods, guarded by creatures of light and shadow. Lila was determined to find it. One day, right before bedtime, she looked out her window and gasped. A perfect full moon hung in the sky, casting silver sparkles across her yard. Lila quickly packed a flashlight, her favorite notebook, a jar of honey cookies, and a small blanket just in case. Pebble wagged his tail, ready to go on the adventure. Tiptoeing past her sleeping parents, Lila slipped out into the night. The forest was quiet, but not scary. Fireflies blinked like tiny lanterns, and the wind whispered through the trees like a lullaby. Lila followed a winding path she'd never noticed before. It shimmered faintly in the moonlight, like someone had sprinkled it with stars. After walking for what felt like an hour, she came upon a gate covered in vines. A wooden sign read, "Moonlight Garden, welcome to the brave." Lila took a deep breath and pushed open the gate. Inside, the garden glowed. There were flowers shaped like stars and trees with silver leaves. Crickets played tiny fiddles, and frogs croaked lullabies. In the middle of the garden stood a fountain, but instead of water, it sparkled with moonlight. Pebble barked happily and chased a floating flower. Suddenly, Lila heard a soft voice. "You found it." Lila turned and saw a girl about her age, with hair that glowed like moonbeams and a dress made of petals. "I'm Mira," said the girl. "I take care of the Moonlight Garden." "You're real," Lila whispered. "So are you," Mira giggled. "And only the truest hearts can find this place." They sat by the fountain, and Lila shared her honey cookies. Mira told stories about the garden, how flowers only bloomed when someone kind visited, and how laughter made the trees grow taller. "But the garden is fading," Mira said quietly. "Fewer children believe in magic now. Without belief, the moonlight dims." Lila frowned. "That's not fair." Mira looked at her with hopeful eyes. "You believe, and maybe you can help." Just then, a cold breeze swept through the garden. The moon dipped behind a cloud, and the flowers shivered. "Oh no," Mira said. "The shadow seeds are coming." "Shadow seeds?" Lila asked. "They're little creatures that steal magic. They come when the moon hides and fear grows." Tiny dark shapes crept through the vines, whispering doubts like, "You can't do this. You're not special. Why even try?" Lila felt nervous. Her hands trembled. But then she remembered Mira's stories. She remembered the stars on the path and the sign that welcomed the brave. She stood up tall and said, "You don't belong here." The shadow seeds hissed and surrounded her. Lila reached into her backpack and pulled out her crayons. She grabbed her notebook and began to draw. Bright suns, smiling animals, and girls flying on clouds filled the pages. With each drawing, a burst of color shot out like fireworks. The shadow seeds shrieked and vanished into the night. The moon came back, full and bright. Mira clapped and laughed. "You did it! You believed in magic even when it was hard." The garden glowed brighter than ever. Flowers bloomed in every shade of the rainbow, and a tree sprouted where Lila had stood its trunk shaped like a heart. "You're always welcome here," Mira said, "and maybe next time bring a few more friends." Lila hugged Mira. Then Pebble barked he was getting sleepy. The moon was starting to sink behind the hills. As Lila stepped back onto the moonlit path, she felt something soft in her pocket. It was a single glowing seed. When she got home, she planted it in a jar on her windowsill. Every night after, it grew just a little more. And sometimes, when the moon was full, Lila would walk to the edge of the woods, and if she listened closely, she could hear laughter and the sound of crickets playing fiddles, because the Moonlight Garden was real, and so was magic.